All right, so we've got Marty Markenson in the house here from Cavelit.com, Cavelit Creations. And what Marty does is create custom GIFs for brands. And Marty, excited to talk to you a little bit today about GIFs and more importantly, AI. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. It's good to be here. A longtime fan of the show, and I'm excited to talk AI and maybe some GIFs as well.
Appreciate it, brother. And listen, if you want to be on the show, hit me up, mark@marksavantmedia.com. I'm opening it up for great conversations about AI. So, Marty, of course, you're making GIFs. You're putting together great custom GIF packages for clients. But what I'm interested in today is how you're using AI. How are you using AI to enhance your business? You're a solopreneur, right? You got no team members, and you're using AI as almost like a customer assistant. So break it down. How are you using AI to enhance your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm running lean and me. I'm the only one running the shop. And I think like the next businesses of the future are going to be empowered by AI, and more people can be solopreneurs. They don't need these big teams. They don't need to raise a bunch of capital. They can do it themselves. And especially these companies and people like myself are running just small companies by themselves. I think that you have an advantage actually from using these tools because you don't have the overhead of a bunch of staff, a bunch of people that you got to take care of and manage. And that's why it's kind of an interesting opportunity for people who are running businesses solo to take advantage of AI. The way I use it is a lot of customer outreach. So every time I get an email, I run it through Chat GPT, gives me a response, takes a little bit of fine tuning, but I send it back either a first draft or a second draft. I found it saves me a lot of time on customer support email, as well as like outreach for my product. That means I have more time to spend on marketing, more time to spend on the product, and less time kind of doing kind of the rote details of just back and forth with customers.
So do you find that you often get like the same questions over and over again? Is that something that you find happens?
Yeah, it's the similar questions. It's like, what's your pricing on this? How does this work? I'm getting stuck here. And the nice thing about Chat GPT is it does have like a little bit of it builds context. So as you feed it more questions, as you tell it more about your business, it is getting smarter and smarter about like your specific situation. So when I first started, using Chat GPT, it was like, 50-50 that would give me something that I wanted. But you can kind of fine tune the model. You can tell it more about your specific situation and get smarter and smarter. And it remembers that sort of context. So the next time you're getting a question from a customer, it gets even closer to the right answer. So I see this as like an investment to make early on in your business. And as you continue to answer more questions with ChatGPT, it gets smarter, saves you more time. And then this kind of gets compounded so that you've got like full-time employee who's up and running while other people, are still just hiring people to try to do the same thing.
Yeah, so I just want to share my screen here and kind of walk you through it, all you podcast listeners. But what Marty is talking about here with Chat GPT is you can have multiple chats, right? So I've probably got, 20, 25 different chats on my subscription. But within each chat, you can train that chat. You can train Chat GPT. You can train the AI within that chat to speak your language. And today what I was doing is redesigning my website. I know it's like the most funnest thing you could ever possibly do in your life, right? And yes, I know I said most and funnest in the same sentence. All you grammar police out there, forget about it. So what you can do is you could just continue to, you could tell I'm lit today, bro. I've been doing web design all day. So I'm Cavelit, so to speak. But what you can do is you can start the prompt and continue down this rabbit hole and teach ChatGPT to speak like yourself. Now, you can always start a new chat. And if you start a new chat, that's going to start a new conversation. You can build out a new, persona for that chat model, right? So what are some of your favorite personas that you've created on your ChatGPT program, Marty?
Oh, that's a good one. I like to set context. I think I have one kind of generic one where I'm saying, hey, you're an expert business operator running, successful solopreneur company. Tell me some advice about this, like some strategy stuff. How should I set up my referral program? How should I think about increasing pricing? Things like that. So I like to give it, context of like, you're kind of a general, business operator, and that's more strategic stuff. And then the other thing that I like to do as well is more on sort of the email copy things. And I like to give it the context of, this is what I need help with. You're XYZ. I want you to speak in this voice. I want you to be, off the cuff, genuine, and providing like those little bits of context that are specific to your business actually go a long way.
And one of the things that I like to do when I'm teaching different personas is put like a little asterisk next to that name. So you can try to identify which chats are branded or speak in a particular voice. Like, for example, you might have your Donald Trump chat, right?
Yeah.
If you're up for a laugh, because he definitely speaks in a very interesting way. The other cool thing that I just found this out a couple of weeks ago, and it blew my mind, is that you can use Chat GPT to scour the internet for like famous books or famous business concepts, and then apply those concepts to your business. So, for example, I was working on a marketing package the other day, and I said, hey, write me out a marketing package for my podcast agency based on Donald Miller's StoryBrand book. Right. And it was profound. It wrote a great description, and I was able to kind of drill down on that. And one of the things that I'm currently working on now is building out an email sequence so I can have a bunch of email. Because I don't know about you, Marty, and you listeners out there, but writing email sucks.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks balls. I do not enjoy it. It takes a long time. But when you're using a program like Chat GPT, you can create mountains of content that is just really compelling. And better yet, even if you're not an expert at email sequencing, you can ask Chat GPT to help you design the email sequence.
Yeah, that's a great point of even when you're stuck on, I don't even know where to start, that's a good place to when you're staring at a blank screen, just ask Chat GPT, where do I start? How do I even think about this? And it usually asks leading questions. And that's where you can use it as a dialogue. Don't use it as answer this one question, but how should I think about this? How should I approach this? And from there, it's not going to do all the work for you. You got to do some thinking. But if you can kind of follow this Socratic method of, it's asking you questions, it's helping you refine your approach, it's helping you think deeper about the problem. I think you get to a better place than just trying to do it by yourself. It's unbelievable. It's so powerful at inspiring yourself. I'm going to just share my screen again here, because once I get started in Chat GPT, my mind starts running. Right? So Marty and I were just talking a little bit before the episode, and Marty's full-time. He creates GIFs full-time for social media. Those are the things that you see when you go on your Instagram stories and you type, hashtag GIF. And one of the issues that we were talking about was, hey, I'm looking for ways to generate more recurring revenue from my business. Shoot, dude, I just came in here to Chat GPT. I said, I run a GIF production agency for social media. What are some recurring revenue models? And it just gave me 8 different models of how we can generate recurring revenue, some of which are probably no good. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's here we have 10 ideas. You can drill into one. You can say, hey, tell me a little bit more about a subscription-based model. What are some options there? You can keep drilling down on these things, and then I'll get you closer and closer and closer to kind of what step to take next. Yeah, I totally agree. I found Chat GPT be one of the best sources of inspiration. And you know what? I got to say, there's people out there, and you know who you are if you're listening, or you're not listening, but there's people out there that say stuff like, well, I don't believe in AI. It's not authentic. I don't like it. It's not for me. I'm an authentic person. I don't use it. And all I can say is, listen, I get there's some ethical concerns here, but if you're not using these programs, you're going to be stuck there sitting at a screen waiting for inspiration that's never going to come. Yeah. I mean, it's just a huge tool for leverage, right? I mean, it doesn't do the work for you. Honestly, it doesn't even know what problems to solve. That's still on you to tell it what problems to solve. And, it will give you some options, but it doesn't always have the right option. But it's just a huge point of leverage to write those emails 10 times faster, to come up with that website design 10 times faster. It's still your work. It's still your problems that you need to solve. It's just helping you do it 10 times faster and with kind of less need for, hundreds of employees, kind of companies of the past. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Have you been automating with Chat GPT at all? Have you put it into your systems as an automation? Yeah, I haven't quite gotten to that step yet. I use make.com, have a bunch of automations for a bunch of customer fulfillment stuff and order invoicing, but I haven't used tied it into my automation stuff. I think it would, I don't know. I'd be curious how you use it for automation. I thought a little bit about if it could just read my email and just give me a response, then I can give it the thumbs up or thumbs down. That would be super helpful. But haven't gotten there. Well, and so that's something that is already happening. I haven't found, and when I do find it, I will share it. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats. But that is something that a lot of
email add-ons are starting to implement is AI suggestion. I mean, even Gmail does to an extent. When it thinks it knows what you're going to type, it'll give you like a suggested finish, and you can just hit tab and kind of go through it. But one of the ways that I've implemented Chat GPT on automation is using Zapier and Google Forms and Calendly. So just as an example, for you to come on the show, you filled out a Calendly request form, right, to book a time. And by doing that, it created, and I'm going to show you for everyone that's watching on YouTube. Thanks for watching. If not, I'll put a link below so you can subscribe on YouTube, because I feel like a lot of what we're doing now requires that. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick and show you here. When you filled out that request form to book a time, it gives me your name, email, phone number, website. It gives me, the list, basically all the information that you put in that Calendly, but it also gives me potential titles for the episode based on what you do. It gives me a description for the episode based on the topics that you input. It even gives me potential questions to ask.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All automated. And it creates a Google folder. It creates this Google file all automatically, which is pretty spectacular. Also, you can automate it to notify people, like notify Slack. You can have it set up, for example, a process in Notion or in Monday or in Trello and stuff like that. So some really, really cool things you can do with Zapier in this program. Very excited about it.
Yeah, it's like got me thinking about like a bunch of customer outreach contact stuff. So I have like a contact form where customer fills out, name, why they're interested in GIFs, their website, and then they have a chance to fill in some questions. But having like a first pass of like, here's some options, here's something that would fit well with your brand based on your location, based on the markets you serve. I think that could be super powerful.
It gets you ready to scale.
Yeah.
It's preparing to scale. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Marty, when we started this conversation where you're talking about solopreneurship and not needing to have 10 team members supporting you. You could do it all with a robot. Like some of the biggest businesses that are in production right now are going to be solo run businesses because it's going to be someone that's using AI on the back end.
I can't wait for the first company that's going to be $1 billion company run by one person. Like it's gotten smaller and smaller. I remember when Instagram came out with their acquisition from Facebook, it was over $1 billion. I forgot the exact count, but I think it was in the tens of employees or less. I think there's going to be this next generation of companies. There's going to be $1 billion company run by one person and then powered with the help of AI. And I think that's going to be like a huge moment just in business and just like eye-opening to see how productive you can be by yourself with just the help of these kind of AI tools.
It's 100% going to happen. And if you're not learning and you're not using these tools now, you're basically a caveman. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Or a cave woman. I'm not a hater. But you're in trouble. You're in trouble if you're not trying out these tools right now because they are unbelievably powerful. Just in this episode alone, we've given you about 4 or 5 different ideas, ways that you can use the tool. And we've only touched the tip of the iceberg. So anyway, Marty, thanks for joining the show here today. Where's the best place for us to find you?
Find me on Instagram, Cavelit Creations, and check out my website, www.cavelit.com.
Rock and roll. Thanks for subscribing to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Awesome.